What's up, guys? Friday morning. Did you hear about this new, the latest thing that's going to destroy humanity and kill you and make your dogs have kittens? The MCR9 gene, right? They found it in some water. Some college found it in some water in Georgia somewhere, and they said it's the biggest threat to humanity, and on and on and on, right? And we can't, we don't have any. We don't have any medication for it. We don't have any antibiotics for it. They use it overseas, but we have banned it, and it's going to destroy everything, right? So I watch a YouTube channel. I watch several YouTube channels. I just kind of, when I'm doing kitchen stuff in the morning, getting everything set up for my guy that comes in here, and just getting everything set up through the day for people so they can do their things here. But dude's got 28,000 views on this video, and he just mentions it. And that's kind of what he does. A lot of the prepper channels, when they don't have content, they've turned into reading the news about, all the doomsday, the thing that's going to kill you today, the new talking point du jour. And not saying it's not real. What can you do about it? What can you do about it? Remember a few years ago, it was Ebola was coming to the United States, and it was the talking point, right? Because all the prepper groups, that's what they like to do. They like to talk about something, and somebody watches this video, and he got it from, a listener sent it to him. And not saying it's wrong. I'm saying, what the fuck can you do about it? So it's the talking point. So if you go out on the prepper forums and the prepper net and the prepper groups and the prepper, that's all the talk, right? How many of them dudes fucking did any kind of workout yesterday? Body movement. I mean, you got dudes on breathing machines. You got dudes connected to stuff that literally can't live without outside inputs. And it's the hobby. It's the whatever, But they won't do the basicest of the free, which is just move. Change a little bit of what goes in your mouth. And I can stand here and say that, and it's easy for me, and I do all the same shit, man. I eat junk. I eat trash. I literally know when it goes in my mouth. This should not go in my mouth. But how many of them did anything, right? How many of them went to the garden center and just got some tools and started doing any physical activity outside? I don't have a gym membership. Right. But if you want to be a prepper, the ultimate goal of the prepper, the end result, is that we go back to the 1800s or whatever. We have the capability to live without electricity. We have the capability to produce all of our own food or trade with somebody in the closest proximity for the things we don't have, for the things that we do have, with the things we do have, right? That requires heating with wood. That requires moving equipment, moving earth and soil, and doing that by hand. That's way harder than going to any gym at all. And then stop and think about how many of us know guys with back injuries, right? Guys that bench press 300 pounds, guys that squat 400 or 500 pounds. You always hear that. You see those guys all the time. You also see those guys that are literally destroyed. I threw my back out. Oh man, did you raise the weight on your bench press? Did you raise the weight on your squat? Nah, man, I was bending down to pick up my daughter, or I was bending down to pick up a toothpick or a pencil, right? We all know that. Imagine what happens when you go from not accustomed to doing physical trade and skills outside. It's something as simple as chopping with a hatchet, right? You have a hatchet, you have an axe or whatever, but you've never felled a tree with it. You just have it, and you checked that box, right? Because it was the thing the guys online were talking about today. They were talking about, you need an axe. So you happen to be at Walmart and you bought an axe, or Home Depot and you bought an axe. You don't know what kind of axe you bought. You don't know what the purpose of the axe is. You don't know what the weight of the axe is. You don't know anything about the axe other than you got that little endorphin release, but you never went outside and swung that axe. You never went outside and split wood with a maul. You've never split wood with an axe. You've never split wood with a wood blaster. You've never tried the wedge for wood blasting or the spike with the 4 ridges. You don't know which one does what and what works best. And you don't know that you're not just going to turn that axe around and swing it and hit all of those wood splitting implements. I'm picking up hardware off the ground here from when we pulled the sunshade down. And you don't know. So you don't know that you need a sledgehammer for that, which works best. And you don't know what weight sledgehammer, much less did you even know that they made different weight sledgehammers. There is so much stuff every single day that you can do that literally will improve your life, make you better. And you can do it in a gradual manner right now. But instead, we're worried about the next thing that's going to kill us, and then discussing it with 500 people who we've never met, who you have the perception are doing all the things, right? Like Bear likes to say, doing all the things, but there's no evidence. And I like to say, I've been saying a lot, success leaves clues, right? And that comes over from business for you prepping guys. And really, if you're a prepper, there should be business in there, because the ultimate end goal of prepper is to take care of yourself and have commerce amongst yourselves, and then barter with your neighbor, and then barter with the town over and the other community, right? Commerce among you. So that it involves business. But instead of developing those things that you could better your life right now, in every manner could better your life. You're going to move, you're going to eat better, you're going to know where your food comes from, you're going to be less chemically laden, you're going to know how to do all that stuff. But instead of that, you get on the keyboard and you type around with all these dudes who don't do anything. And success leaves clues, right? If a dude is telling you all about how many times have you gone on and there's 5,000 dudes in an aquaponics thread, but you know what? There's not any pictures of any of those dudes doing the aquaponics stuff. And all this stuff has kind of moved. It's still on ar15.com. There's a lot of good information there. There's more bad info though. There's more. The guy talking the loudest is always doing the least. And you know what's not there? There's no photos. And now that it's all in groups, when you're in a group on Facebook, for instance, and you see a dude's post and you click his name, it shows you all the posts he's made. So you kind of scroll through the 5,000 posts, and it dawns on you, the dude giving you all this advice doesn't have anything growing, much less when it's froze. It's chilled right now. It's below 30 degrees. There is ice on everything out here, but there's food growing here. How can that be? They told you that you can't grow food when it's cold, right? You can, it just takes more. Like that row house over there. I'm not saying watch me. I'm saying do things you can do that will actually make a difference. It will improve your position. It will make you, if you don't have a woman, make yourself more desirable. Whether they realize it or not, it's not about the car and the giant house, right? It is about the physical ability to keep her and her children that you're going to create with her safe. It is to take and remove those worries. And that's fucking 400 other videos, right? But if you want a mate, you have to be appealing. That's how that works. Jordan Peterson talks about that all the time, right? Look at all that frost and ice. I think you can see it all over that. I should have put these back in last night. We used them. We're going to be using this equipment all day today. And somehow we're still going to run this business in here. And my people are going to do all the stuff they need, and anything they need help or assistance in doing, we're going to help do. And then I'm going to have a crew out. We're splitting wood all day. We're filming videos all day. I've got people coming into town. We have a ton of stuff going on. We're going to work all through the weekend. And we're not going to worry about the R2D2 C3PO pig virus that might be in it was in the sewage system, by the way. That's where they found it. They found it in the fecal matter, the sewage water. I'm sure they're treating because they take all that poop water and give it back to you guys in Atlanta. Just do some shit you can do. It is all, and you let this happen. Some of you might not even know it happens, but you let it happen. You are so busy talking to people that you don't fucking know, that you will never meet, and if you did, they are not what they pretend to be on the internet. Get around people that have evidence. And those people are usually so busy that it's hard to get around them. It's hard to get around them. But if you show up and you do some shit, and you show up and you add value, you will find yourself amongst them. but it can't be imposter sin. You can't pretend to care and want to do that because they'll see through that shit. You actually have to do it. And as long as it doesn't matter what level or position you're in, as long as you actually are doing it and gradually going up in scale. You guys have a great day. Take what you want from that. Leave me a comment. What part stuck out to you? What did you hear? It doesn't even have to necessarily, it's hard to talk about yourself in a negative manner or to admit you need improvement. But think about that. We can discuss somebody else, whatever. It doesn't have to have a name. What have you done in the last day? What did you do yesterday that will make today better? Or what did you do last week? Or how have you improved in the last month? Or how is this year better than, last year, right? I see tons of guys, people I actually know, who are gardening. And gardening starts right now. This ground is frozen. But gardening, when you're going to start planting seeds we're going to start inside in about 4 weeks to bring them outside into the row house. But gardening starts now for something you're not even going to do for months. But when you do it now, boy, is it. I'll give you a little tip. Some people I mentioned and they didn't know. They were like, I don't really garden anymore because of all the weeds. Even though we till, we have all these. That's why you have all the weeds. Silage tarp. You don't have to know what it is. But if you're gardening and you don't know the word silage tarp, that's going to be the best thing you do all year to improve your silage tarp.